The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks by E. Lockhart. I came upon this I was at ALA in a publisher's booth, and two women on either side of me were like, oh, that book! And we're just raving about it. And then, actually, I think I'll read just the inside cover to you, because that's
what's the title again? I'm sorry.
The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks. And this is an envelope with a basset hound on the seal. So I'm just going to read this because it's pretty short. Frankie Landau Banks, at age 14, debate club, her father's bunny rabbit, a mildly geeky girl attending a highly competitive boarding school. Frankie Landau Banks, at age 15, a knockout figure, a sharp tongue, a chip on her shoulder, and a gorgeous new senior boyfriend, the supremely goofy, word-obsessed Matthew Livingston. Frankie Landau Banks, no longer the kind of girl to take no for an answer, especially when no means she's excluded from her boyfriend's all-male secret society. Not when her ex-boyfriend shows up in the strangest of places. Not when she knows she's smarter than any of them. When she knows Matthew is lying to her. And when there are so many, many pranks to be done. Frankie Landau Banks at age 16, possibly a criminal mastermind. This is the story of how she got that way. It's fun. She arrives at this kind of elite boarding school and finds herself the ugly duckling turned swan in her sophomore year and starts dating this guy, and quickly realizes that he is the head of this historic all-male secret society, and after a while starts to realize that no matter how much she is in with him as friends, and they like her, they enjoy her, she can be funny, she can be smart, she's never going to be in the club, and furthermore, he's not going to tell her about it, and not going to, he lies to her face. And she starts to get more and more frustrated and reads about kind of the history of the society, and sees that it's kind of turned from maybe like her father's generation, and he did go there and was part of the society, being a society that does things to kind of sock it to the administration or make a statement, and it's gone more into the realm of just goofing off and partying. And so in retaliation for both of those, she basically ends up, she opens an email account in the name of their previous president and starts to manipulate the society through the email account and incorporating different members of the school, and sort of, it's really interesting. And it's very, I mean, she's a strong female character that there's a romantic side to her and there's a girly side to her, but she's smart and she knows who she is and she's not going to back down about that, and it's really fun. I noticed, I just read a couple of reviews on it, and it said age 12 and up, which I was surprised because it's set in high school and it's in YA areas usually, but it's also not at all racy. It's all pretty fun, if mischievous. So I don't know if 12, but definitely could be read. It's an easy read, but I enjoyed it.
That's all
I love it. It won the Prince Award, which is the ALA Award for Excellence in Young Adult Literature, and I read it I had to take a young adult literature class, and I read 50 books, and this is the one that stuck out. This is one that I think of if any girl asks me for a recommendation. It's pretty short. It's set in kind of a modern but alternate England, and England is at war. Actually, England is invaded by terrorists, kind of unnamed terrorists. And this is about I think she's 16, a 16-year-old American girl who is sent to England to live with relatives because she has kind of a rough home life. Her father has married a younger woman, and they have a new baby, and she's frustrated with that. She may or may not be struggling with anorexia. So they sent her to the English countryside to live with her cousins and her aunt. And as she gets there, this invasion is happening. And eventually her aunt goes on I think a weekend trip and gets stranded in Oslo. I don't know if you remember Debbie. But essentially her and her three cousins, who are all either high school aged or younger, I think there's even like a 10-year-old girl, are living the high life by themselves in this big farmhouse in the countryside. And it's this very idealistic, fun, free life. And there's a strange romance with the cousin, which the appropriateness of that is never addressed, but that makes it all the more intriguing and interesting. All of their relationships are really interesting. Meg Rossoff writes dialogue really well, especially teenage dialogue, and also thought process. She writes it so you feel like you can hear the characters talk and think, and it's just really well done. So eventually it goes from this kind of idyllic life to there's an invasion, there are foreign people in our country that the kids get split up, they have to go live in different places. She and her little cousin, the 10-year-old, they end up kind of leaving on foot and trying to find the other cousins, and it goes into sort of chaos. And it's just really, it's intriguing because it's sort of life without adults, but then, oh, life without adults isn't always fun, and this is scary, while dealing with all of these issues of anorexia and am I in love with my cousin? and I'm American living in England, but I can't get in touch with my family because all the phone lines are cut, and things like that. Really, really good